Okay, I went to mass for the first time. Um, Maybe I don't know if this counts, right? So I went to a Catholic church, wonderful, but like 2 years ago, I was really going through it. Had a horrible breakup, and yeah, it was a horrible breakup. Like bad enough that I literally bought a ticket, flew. I'm in Texas, flew to Chicago because it was the only monastery that had like bed and breakfast like availability for like a full week, and I literally went and stayed with Trappist monks for a week and hardly said a word. Had no phone, had no anything. Ate with them. Um, got locked out of my room the first night, actually. Like, accidentally locked the thing from inside, went outside, and then, like, made food and stuff, went outside, looked at the view, beautiful, was trying to get back inside. Mind you, this is like midnight, and went to open my door and couldn't. And of course, all the monks are asleep and in their chambers and stuff. So I was just like, literally had like two lawn chairs to, yeah, two lawn chairs to sleep on my first night outside, which was wild. That whole thing was an experience. Yeah, wonderful. God showed up. It was cool. But um, so yeah, I went to Catholic church for the first time since then. Now, like the monks, like their services were like Halo music, and it was like super dope, beautiful, like 8, 10 guys like singing like full Halo music. It was so super dope. So then going to mass was like, okay, like this is really what mass is like, right? So yeah, mass was one thing that's wild is that everyone drinks from the same cup, apparently. Like I didn't know this, but apparently we're all taking the same freaking, thing and just like drink and then like wipe where your lips were. Next person drink, wipe where like I was baffled. Like I saw it happening. I was like a bunch of people were going to like drink, and then I was like, there's only like 10 cups there. Like that's not enough cups. Like where are the other cups, right, for the 30 people on stage right now, or in the pulpit, whatever. And then seeing them like drink and then pass to the next person, wipe, drink, wild. Okay, and then everyone in the whole congregation like coming up and drinking, wild. I got blessed. I went up and did my little arm thing, and you get blessed or whatever. Um, when I walked into church, it's a beautiful church. I walked into the church and I got like I was looking at art. Like okay, I showed up 30 minutes early on accident because my friend said it was 11 and it was actually 11:30. Um, I blame you, Roberto. Um, and I go to look at. Yeah, I was just looking at art. It was very beautiful. And then a lady comes up and she's like, "Oh, you looking at art?" She's like, "Here's a piece of paper on the art tour on everything here." And I was like, "This is wonderful. Like, this is great." And I'm like, "I want to go to the next thing." And she's like, "So is it your first time?" And I was like, yeah, it is. And she's like, "Great. What's your background?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm like Protestant." Da, da, da. And so we started talking. I'm sorry, we didn't start talking. She started talking. Wonderful lady, so sweet. I hope she never sees this, but good God Almighty, she freaking knew how to talk. Yeah, she was really sweet, like really kind, but just a yapper, dude. Was just like science stuff and the shroud and Jesus' blood is AB negative, and I don't even freaking. She was Protestant, wanted to once, bleh, bleh, bunch of stuff, right? But very kind and kind of like walked me through and was like, "Oh, hey, you can do this," and threw like some holy water, or I did something. I don't know. I think I crossed the wrong way, and she's like, "That's the wrong way, but that's fine." I was like, "Okay." Like, I don't want to start, a schism or make an issue here. Uh, so I go like sit by the front. The priest like mic was tripping, so it sounded like horrible for the first like 10 minutes until someone like fix whatever was going on there, and then it was like, all right, like I can freaking hear what he's saying. I don't know what the first 10 minutes was. It was like, and I'm like, why is nobody like fixing this? Like we're all like can very clearly hear this is a very serious issue, but like is honestly like any any Protestant church would have been, oh, my mic's not working. This is weird. Hey, Jeremy, like, can you come up? You mind helping out with the mic? Sorry, guys, just part of the thing, right? Like, God's still here. But this guy was just like, I'm just gonna ignore this, and it slowly got worse, worse, and worse until, like, someone was walking up and had to do something about it. Put on a different mic, whatever. But it's kind of one of those like, okay, like it's a different attitude here. Like people aren't like, like, hey, like, your mic, or like, we can't hear you, or like your mic's messed up, or like the leader just going like, let's just. So, anyways, yeah. And then like when his mic was fixed, then it was like nobody clapped or like did anything until like the priest made a joke about something, and then everyone was like, oh yeah, like we can clap now. And it was like, huh, like the reverence. It's almost like, I don't know, very very different, very interesting, great. I don't think I learned or got anything out of it. He told a story that was like interesting. Um, so yeah, went to mass. Um, I think I'll go next week, and I don't know what I'm supposed to get out of it, but I'm gonna go. And then I'll probably go to like an Orthodox church sometime next month. Separate from that, been going to listening to some answers on like, why does God send people to hell, or why does God allow people to go to hell? And this guy was basically laying out this argument of like, God's not like allowing or sending people to hell. Like, it's imagine you live at this live at this house, and like that there's like a road and it leads to a cliff, like, and you see someone coming down this road, like you would do everything you can. You try to like stop them. You go like, hey, like stop, like watch out. You try to put warning signs, and you get to the point where you literally even get in the middle of the road and try to do your best to stop them. Say like, hey, like stop, and they don't listen to you, and they end up going off the cliff. It's like, you have done everything you can to get them to fall off the cliff, to not get them to fall off the cliff, to stop them, and they just drove right off, and they should have listened. And that's like God. God gets right in the middle of the road and goes like, stop, and does everything he can. But some people, they just, some people just still do it. Even though it's their choice. They've blown past every single thing that says, no, don't do it. And I thought it was a god awful argument. I thought it was probably one of the worst ways you could explain, because it's like, he's God. Why couldn't he not put a cliff there? He's God. Why didn't he like seize the car and stop them instead of like, hey, you moron that doesn't actually know that there's a cliff there, even though I'm telling you there really is a cliff there, so for your own safety, I'm not going to let you drive off the cliff. Right? Just like a terrible, terrible, terrible argument. I was listening to this podcast going like, are you kidding me? Like, this is how you want to teach people this? It's like, what a terrible, and then it's kind of like, we're all, already on the road to hell, and, it's a miracle he saves any of us sort of thing. It's like, bro, like, the goodness of God to save us from, God. Right. Okay. Cool. Terrible, terrible. So I don't know, like an image that's better, but that one certainly isn't it. I think I'm trying to get to a place of, I don't care. Stop caring about how you feel about truth and perceived truth. Accept truth for truth, whether you like it or not, no matter how you feel about it. I'm not going to choose a truth. I'm not going to choose the truth. I think within those words itself, you can see that there's a problem there. You can't choose the truth. The truth simply is the truth. Whether you choose it or not, it is truth. I'm just trying to find the truth. That's my goal. That's my search. That's my heart. That's what I'm seeking. And if the truth is that God gets in the car and actually makes the car engineered to drive people off into the cliff, and he saves some of them because he likes some more than others, and the ones he saves, he has them watch the others drive off the cliffs. That way they have, more love for God, that God didn't do that to them, and that's the truth. then that's the truth. And that is the truth. Like, regardless of how I feel about the truth, if that's the truth, then that's the truth. You know, that's where I'm trying to get to. Of like, it doesn't matter how I feel. It doesn't matter about it. Like, I just want to get to it. So then evaluating Christianity from a perspective of the same way I would probably go and evaluate like Islam, or go and evaluate like any other religious or any other secular fact or stated truth. You know, is this really the truth? Like, does this hold up to scrutiny? Or do I have my assumed beliefs and perceive the rest of the world with the notion that these things must be true, so I must contort the rest of the world to fit into my assumed beliefs, rather than disregard my assumed beliefs, disregard my past, disregard bias as much as it can. Obviously, we're human, and try to examine the truth for simply the sake of the truth and not the sake of myself or others or an agenda. What is the truth? So, anyways, yeah. I worked 7 to 7 today. It was freaking gnarly. I got on a call with this lady that I thought I had sold. Like, I thought she was, like, down. So I'm like, all right, this is going to be an onboarding call. We're going to go over, like, this. This is what's going to happen. So just go ahead and pull up this, and we can get payment, and we'll get rolling. And she goes, so actually, what I'm hoping to get out of this call is understand the price, and, you know, talk through things. And I'm like, I don't know why I was so embarrassed. I was just embarrassed. I was like, oh, okay, my bad. All right. Whew. All right. So, no pressure. You don't have to buy. Don't feel like I'm going to force you to make a decision, a yes or a no. I'm just going to lay out, like, what this is. And if you want to move forward, cool. Like, if you don't, cool. But take your time and think on it. But what can I give you? What more information, like, do you want? But that was like dang. Like, I thought she was sold. But at the same time, I was like, approached it so differently. So I wasn't prepared. I didn't realize that that's what she was asking. Because if I knew that she was asking that, then I would have prepared totally different. Here I was, like, spending like 2 hours. Like, I knew her situation, so I knew I was gonna have to build things separate for her in a unique way, and I was like preparing for that, and then was just like, oh my gosh, I don't think she's even. So, yeah. Anyways, that was a funny little whatever today, but yeah, I don't think I have anything other than that. Yeah. All right. I would love to know more about. No, I wouldn't. I'd be lying to you if I told you I wanted to know more about that. That I would love to know more. But I would like to know more about. I wouldn't even like to know more. I'm not that interested. I don't care right now. If I care enough, I'll talk about it next time. But, alright. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.